The C is for Charlie. Hi guys, and welcome to Charlie's Life. This is my first video. I'm Charlie. I'm trying to talk at a level that you can hear me, but I'm trying to talk quietly at the same time because my baby is literally a few feet away and I'm trying to not wake him up. He's 10 days old. And that brings me nicely on to the title of this video, why I chose hypnobirthing. And this is my first video on this channel. I do have another channel, but we don't have to talk about that right now. Right now we're talking about Charlie's life, and this is my first ever video on this channel. So if you are seeing this video for the first time, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're into the hypnobirthing, give this a thumbs up. If you're pregnant, give this a thumbs up. If you've just given birth, give this a thumbs up. If you're thinking of any of those things, give it a thumbs up. Grab yourself a hot drink. This might be a long one, it might not be. Okay, we're just gonna have to deal with the lighting. The sun was out, but now I'm looking and there's a big fat dirty cloud. So can we just ignore and focus on the message? So first things first, let me introduce myself. I'm Charlie, I'm 36. I recently had my 4th baby. So I'm now a mum of 4. I have a 13-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 10-day-old as of this video, which is, today is the 26th of September 2023. That is my current situation. So I would probably say, yes, I'm a fairly experienced mother, and that's me. So, hypnobirthing, why? Why hypnobirthing? First of all, what is hypnobirthing? Because when I mentioned this to my mother, she was like, oh, that sounds like very spooky, spiritual, weird stuff. And I was like, no. Hypnobirthing is basically, in short, the best way I can describe it is the education of the physiological side of birth. Hypnobirthing empowers you and gives you the tools that you need to have a really relaxed, confident, gives you confidence in your birth. Through the education, through the techniques and the basic toolkit they give you, you can go into birth feeling very relaxed, and hopefully, no matter what your birth looks like, or no matter how your birth, the result of your birth, how it turns out, you should, once you've gone through the whole hypnobirthing education, you should hopefully have the desired outcome, which is feel in control of your labor and your birth. And they give you techniques such as breathing. They help empower birthing partners as well. They get birthing partners really involved in the birthing process. They educate you on your rights, as in, I think when we all go in to give birth, we kind of just give over our consent to the medical staff without really knowing that we can say yes to certain things and we can say no to certain things, and that we are really in control of how our birth goes and how it turns out. And although the medical professionals can, and they do advise, it is actually advice. It's not they're telling you this is how it has to go. You can say to them, actually, I prefer to have more time to think about this and research this, or you can just say no, which I think a lot of mothers don't realize. I'll speak for myself personally. I didn't even realize that. So that's what hypnobirthing is. Why did I choose hypnobirthing? Why did I choose it? Because, without making this a negative video, my first 2 births were, well, actually, my first birth, in a way, I was attempting to practice hypnobirthing without realizing it. I didn't know anything about hypnobirthing when I gave birth almost 13 years ago. And all I knew is that I wanted a natural birth. I didn't want any intervention. I wanted an unmedicated birth. Yeah, considering I was early 20s and I had no idea, as I said, what hypnobirthing is or was at the time, I did, I guess, instinctively want that experience. I wanted to experience birth, and everyone at the time thought I was mad. Like, why would you want to experience the pain of it, and why would you not want any assistance, and you know, why? And I was just like, I just feel like that's the best thing. I just feel like I just want it to be as natural as possible. And I got that birth. I did get that birth, but my recovery from that birth, because my child was 9 pounds 3, and I did have to have surgery after he was born, because I did have what was called a 3rd degree tear, which is basically front to back. So I did have to go down for surgery, and the recovery process was quite a lot for me. It took a toll on me, and I think overall it took me about a full year to fully recover and feel like myself again after having my first child. And that kind of thoroughly put me off having children, which is why there's a 5-year age gap between my first and my second. And with my second, it was again it wasn't a nice experience, because I had my first emergency situation. I had an emergency cesarean. I won't go into the ins and outs of that unless you'd like me to. I can make future videos on that if you would like me to. But yes, I didn't have a good experience at all. It was very traumatic, in fact. I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat it. There's just no point. It was traumatic. Very. And then my third birth is when I then discovered hypnobirthing, and I discovered the Positive Birth Company. You may have heard of them. They're on here on YouTube. You can, you know, find them on Google. Siobhan Miller, her name is, who's the founder of the Positive Birth Company. I came across some of her videos. Actually, I think it was Louise Pentland. Louise Pentland talked about the fact that her second daughter, she had done hypnobirthing with Siobhan Miller, and she talks all about the Positive Birth Company. I was very intrigued, although I wasn't looking to have any more babies at the time. I'd had my two oldest children, and but I was just intrigued. I've always still liked to watch birth videos, and I still really was interested in how people have chosen to give birth. So when she mentioned the Positive Birth Company, I was like, oh, you know, this is interesting. So then when I got pregnant with my third child, I was like, yeah, I'd like to explore this a bit more, and went and watched, binge watched a load of the Positive Birth Company videos, and they were brilliant. So I bought the course, and it's excellent. It's really affordable. It's only £39, and you get access for a full year to the website and to the course material and things like that. And it was just brilliant. I would thought this is the best thing, one of the best things I've come the best thing I've come across when it comes to birth. And I think Siobhan's mission statement, I think her mission statement is basically to make birth accessible, hypnobirthing accessible for everybody, which is why I think the price of her the price of her course is so cheap, because she really wants everybody to be able to access it. And I would recommend it to any mother and I will be recommending it to every mother I come across, any first-time mum, or any, you know, mothers that are having subsequent children. I'd recommend it to anybody, because it's just fantastic. Apologies again for the lighting, because what the hell. Anyway, we continue. So did the course, absolutely fantastic. However, I was going through a lot in my personal life at the time when I was pregnant with my third child, and as good as the course was, I didn't fully implement all of the tools. despite all the preparation I felt that I had made, my birth unfortunately wasn't positive. But it's not down to anything to do with the course. It literally was, my personal life at the time was a shambles. Let's just put it that way. I was going to say a different word that begins with sh, but I won't. It was bad. It was really bad.